Welcome to Often Pacing on Tab Radio Racing and Sport. Tim Walker will be joined by Matt Young and Oliver Cownie as they delve into the form for today's Pinjarra Harness meeting, as well as an early look at tomorrow's meeting at Gloucester Park. We are Often Pacing.
Great to have your company for another week on Often Pacing at the slightly earlier time today with no greyhound gossip, Peter O'Neill being away for the week, so we get to slide up the batting order today, and it's great to have you along with us this morning. Tim Walker with you, about to get in touch with our two experts, Matt Young and Ollie Cownie. They'll be with us in just a moment, and Brett Taylor's going to be joining us today. Big Sunday afternoon of pacing on the way from Kellerberrin, celebrating the 100 years, so Brett's going to join us a little later on in the program this morning. But let's not waste any time. Let's get to Matt and Ollie. Matt, to you firstly. Great to have you back on the line, having just wrapped up your Pinjarra preview a few moments ago. Hello once again.
Hello, Tim.
And Ollie is with us as well. Hello to you, Ollie.
Hi, Tim. Hi, Matt.
Got plenty to work through this morning, gents, after a big night here on Friday night where the feature race, and this doesn't go into your horses to follow, which is good. The feature race was the free-for-all, which was taken out by Sangway Real, well-supported Sangway Real. We had joint favourites at the end of it all. Ollie, what was your take on Sangway Real beating Talks Up a Storm in the Howard Porter Memorial on Friday nights?
I think going into the race, the main query was if Sangway Real could hold up at the start. And in the end, Sangway Real, after 100 metres, had about a head on Talks Up a Storm. So blew off the gate, Sangway Real. And after that, was able to control the race and booted clear in the later stages. 27-1 on the way home was a really impressive winner, Sangway Real. And it's good to see him back after he had such a long time off.
Matt, it's certainly one that could be a player, I reckon, Sangway Real, in some of our feature races later on. And I read over the weekend, and certainly the indication from Chris on Friday night was that was going to be the way forward for him. Now he could certainly hold his own in a Pacing Cup later on in the year.
Yeah, he's finished fifth in the Pacing Cup before, and his form since coming back has been first class. So this is probably the best version that we've seen of him in a number of seasons, and it's good to see. Obviously, the pools are going to get a lot stronger going forward. So, yeah, he's a very versatile horse, which is going to help him with his turn of foot in big races. He can be forgotten about and just cuddled away and saved up for one run.
Hopefully not too far away from seeing some of the big-name free-for-allers that will be back very, very soon. It is only about 6 weeks away, the WA Pacing Cup, maybe a little over 6 weeks away, so it will come up very quickly. All right, let's go through and have a look at some horses to follow from Friday night. Matt, we'll start with you, and one of the intriguing events on the night was going to be what would unfold in the small but select field in race number 6. This is the first of your ones to follow.
Yeah, I thought Mickey Jet, the first up run, was really good. When bursting into the clear late and hitting the line strongly. But then we got a real indication of how good he's going on Friday night. 3 wide into the bell, 27-7, and then just didn't give up the chase. Was really gutsy in his performance second up, and I just think he's going to win one again very soon. So he goes in the horses to follow, and I think he's a horse that's going to win multiple races going forward on a Friday night. He's showing a lot of positives, and definitely evolving into an even better racehorse. So Mickey Jet is the first to follow, then Stormy Skies. I like the way that she got home from a wide draw. Shane Steele does a fantastic job with his stable. As we've seen, Me Flash was a winner on Friday night, was able to lead and win. And Stormy Skies, before she had a little bit of a freshen up, she was racing really well without a great deal of luck. And I think she's heading back to that top form again. So I'd be happy to keep following her, and she's probably one that could go around at some decent value very soon. And Ruya in for the third horse to follow in the last. Really gutsy, really served it up to captains have time out in front and made captains have time stretch the neck in the concluding stages. But this is one that I've liked from day dot, and I think the price may have gone out of the next time we see Ruya race, but at the same time I think a win is very close for this 2-year-old.
Yeah, absolutely. What did you make of that last race? And captains have time, certainly one of these fillies, which it feels like there could be a couple going towards the slipper in a few weeks' time, Matt.
Yeah, the fillies look like they've done a really big job. I mean, we saw Raynette take out the Champagne Stakes and then took out the Westbred, but at the same time, Copperhead Lady was outstanding in her performance in the Westbred final as well. So I think a few of these fillies are really putting their hand up as being genuine threats to the boys, which normally isn't the case. But in previous years, we've seen some really good fillies come through and be able to really measure up to the boys. So I think the girls are well and truly up at the top of the table at the moment.
All right, Ollie, let's head over to your horses to follow from Friday night, and we're going nice and early for the first of yours.
The first one I've got is Regal Cheval out of race 2, and I think this is a horse that's quite versatile and easy to back with such good gate speed. Was caught wide there on Friday night and did a lot of work to get into the running line in the end. Ended up without clear running to the line late and appears to be going quite well. I think if he can lead in a race, he can win a race like this soon. Finished alongside Wonderful to Fly on Friday night, which looks fairly good form for a race in this class.
All right,
the next one I've got to follow. Yep. The next one I've got to follow was out of race 7, Soho Seraphine. I thought she was fantastic in this race. She ended up beating 15 metres, but she really battled for the lead in the early stages, and they went a 34.5 lead time, which is incredibly fast. You don't even see lead times like that in free-for-all grades, so just way too fast. And she ended up beating Montana Glory, who was in that battle for the lead, by about 5 metres. So it was a really impressive run there, Soho Seraphine. We know she was quite a classy horse over East, and I now think she's starting to show some of that better form here, and she's got fantastic gate speed, as we saw on Friday. So I think in a race that she can lead and control soon, she'll be really hard to beat, I think. And then in race 8, I've got one here that I thought was just really ready to finish off strongly and never got a crack at them. Pete's Honour in race 8. It was quite a good race there. There was a few nice horses, Blaze Away, Alta Tribute, who won quite impressively, and Mickey's Pride, who hasn't had many starts. I thought it could be a really strong form race, that one, and Pete's Honour was in behind them, nowhere to go, and looked to be absolutely bolting. I think if Pete's Honour got out there, given the 29 won last quarter, he may have challenged Alta Tribute in the end, but didn't get clear running, so I think he's one we can follow going forward.
All right, so that is Regal Cheval, Soho Seraphine, Pete's Honour for Ollie, and Matt going with Mickey Jet, Stormy Skies and Rua out of the last. So to today, Pinjarra. We've got 9 events to look forward to. Ollie, we'll go with you first and foremost. You're going nice and early on in the day to the Trotters race here for your first best.
My first one just looks incredibly well suited from the mobile start. Came up 80 metres last start. That's not my gate. Really classy horse, and comes up against some horses here that if they were done from a stand start, she would be giving them an absolutely huge start, like Sunny's Little Rose, Myra Dream, The Beat. So I thought That's Not My Gate could win this a few ways. I think she could just push to the top, and the 2600 looks absolutely ideal for her. She's a really, really tough horse, so I think she can potentially push to the lead and can just outstay them here, and I think you can take a short quote about her.
All right, keep rolling.
Race 5, I've got Sweet Lucifer. It's going to need to be as good as it's been going to win this race. Has returned extremely well, 2 seconds, and then a win in his last 3 starts. Come back, extraordinarily well. Will definitely need to be really good. Golden Load is a very nice horse. Has very good gate speed though, Sweet Lucifer. So if able to hold that advantage over Golden Load, I think can run along out in front, and then there probably doesn't look another danger in the race. So it really can just be rated to beat to beat Golden Load in that race. So I think potentially if he's not favourite Sweet Lucifer, I think he might start favourite given the draw advantage. And then in race 9, a horse that I think has got a lot of ability and could end up being a really nice horse, True Grit, faced by a very awkward draw in this race inside the back row, which could make things a little bit tricky, but I do think we'll just get a better price. It is the mile, but I think True Grit can come off, be put into the race, and can just be too strong for them here. Was very impressive first start when sitting outside the leader and took that one right down to the line. And then last start was really good, really impressive, led them up and won by 20 metres in the end. So I think he's classy and he can go on to better and bigger things after this race.
All right, so That's Not My Gate in race 2, Sweet Lucifer race 5, number 2, and True Grit race 9, number 8 in the last. All right, Matt, I think you're going to be singing from the same hymn sheet in race number 2 for the first of your specials.
Yeah, absolutely. Sort of agree with everything Ollie was saying. I think the 26.92 really suits her as well, where she's just got this staying prowess that I don't think many of the others have in the field. So, look, I think she'll be able to win race number 2, and I thought she was the best of the day. So that's how I saw the chances of That's Not My Gate, hoping that she opens a half-decent price. But by the sound of it, you're going to have to be quick on the hammer. And the price is out. No, we've got the prices out for race number 5 on the program, but nothing yet for
4, 5 and 6.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll move to race number 6 because I thought Torpedo Rock was a really good each-way chance in this race. There's going to be a lot of speed, as I mentioned in the preview before 9 o'clock. That's 4 of the 5 off the front line look like they'll probably go forward. My only knock on Torpedo Rock is he's a month between runs, but he's got a really good turn of foot, and I think if the pace is on and there's a solid lead time and solidly run, which I can see it being solidly run, I think he'll come right into it. So happy to be with him in race number 6 on the program, and then in race number 8 on the card, we are with More Than Honoured, who I was really impressed with the recent trial, and I think looks to be a pretty nice horse. You're getting a better price from the draw, but looks to be pretty hard to beat in this race on debut. So race 8, number 11, More Than Honoured, race 6, number 10, Torpedo Rock each way, and race 2, number 7, That's Not My Gate, the best of them.
Matt, just before we leave Pinjarra today and go to Gloucester Park, earlier on you were with Mad Monday in the preview in the opening event for the 2-year-olds. The price has just gone up there, 210 Mad Monday. Express Party, though, the 165 favourite. What's the thoughts around that race?
Well, I like Mad Monday at the 210. Yeah, $2 to 210, 175, 165 Express Party. Have I got that one wrong, Ollie?
No, I think Express Party's a nice horse, but potentially hasn't shown that he's overly tough yet and has been beaten when leading in races. So I thought Mad Monday was fantastic last start and would prove really hard to catch if able to lead here.
All right, so that is a look at Pinjarra.
A little bit closer.
Sorry, Matt, say that again.
They should be a little bit closer, I'd say. So
yeah.
I would have thought Mad Monday would be the favourite, but we'll see. We'll see when it gets closer to start time.
Yep, we'll keep you updated as soon as those other markets are coming up as well, because there's 4 of the 9 that are up. In the meantime, let's get across to Gloucester Park right here tomorrow night, where we've got another big night, 10 races to look forward to here. And we'll start with you, Matt, because your first one is nice and early in the program.
Yeah, I like this horse. My Silver Spoon trialled up behind Wonderful to Fly, and they went good time in that trial, and I thought the performance was really good. And then last start at Northern was able to lead, control, and then dash a really nice half. But just he's a smaller type of horse. He looks to have a lot of high speed. And going into this over the mile, I thought he could use that draw advantage, probably burn to the front here. And he's going to give Elter Tribute something to chase. Elter Tribute's been so impressive in his wins, Friday night included, was a really gutsy performance. But he looks to, I won't say lack top-end speed, but he doesn't look to be as zippy as My Silver Spoon. So if he can get to the breeze very quickly, I think he's going to run a mighty race. But I just thought My Silver Spoon, this is a really good chance for this horse, and I think he's a pretty nice horse going forward. So happy to be with him. Race 2, number 4, My Silver Spoon. And then in race 7, I was going to go with Dame Valor, who's got the draw advantage over the main rivals to the outside. This horse was going really well last prep for Dylan Edgerton Green. Happy to be with it first up. So race 7, number 5, Dame Valor, but race 2 I was pretty keen on My Silver Spoon.
Okay, so that is My Silver Spoon, race 2, number 4, and race 7, number 5, Dame Valor. Ollie, your first one is in the middle of the night.
We'll kick things off in race 5, but I really like Cherry on the Cake as a horse. I've always liked her. She's got fantastic gate speed, and when she's going well, she can run a pretty decent mile rate. And the key here is that Madison Brown jumps jumps on Cherry on the Cake, which I think is a really positive switch there. It's not a really strong race, so if Cherry on the Cake is able to get to the lead, she probably becomes the horse to beat. Il Bandito does have some gate speed, though, so that'll be a key battle in the early stages. But if Cherry on the Cake can lead, I think she'll be awfully hard to beat in race 5. And then in race 9, there's a 2-year-old here that's done a few things wrong in her races. Jax's Ideal hasn't been the easiest horse, I don't think. Usually horses early on, they'll do things wrong at the start, but she's been doing things wrong well into the race. So I think here, if she's been figured out a little bit, she can lead from gate 1, and if she does that over the 1700, I think she'll be awfully hard to catch in that race. She's probably stepping significantly down in class there from racing some of the better 2-year-olds to probably some of the less exposed 2-year-olds here. So I think Jax's Ideal can lead and win race 9. She'll be a short price, so she might be a multi-leg for that one.
All right, so that is race 9, number 1, Jax's Ideal, and race 5, number 2, Cherry on the Cake for Ollie to go with. Dame Valor, race 7, number 5, and race 2, number 4, My Silver Spoon for Matt. All right, gents, looking forward to this Friday night. We've got the Dainty's Daughter for the 3-year-olds, which is going to be a really important lead up to the WA Oaks, obviously, and we've got the rankings for the Oaks that are out. We look forward to catching up with you again next Monday. Ollie, many winners between now and then.
Thanks very much, guys.
And Matt, full coverage today of the Pinjarra program on the Racing WA Harness X page.
Yes, indeed.
And also here tomorrow night as well.
Yes, busy.
Fantastic. Enjoy the day.
Cheers, guys.
There is Matt Young with his look at today and also tomorrow night right here at Gloucester Park. And we will keep you updated as those markets do filter through for this afternoon's program at Pinjarra. In the meantime, we're going to take a very short break. When we come back, a big day at Kellerberrin this Sunday, celebrating 100 years. Brett Taylor will tell us more about it.
They are Off and Pacing on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
We're coming up to a big day at Kellerberrin this weekend. It is 100 years of harness racing in Kellerberrin that is being celebrated, and it is great to have Kellerberrin committeeman with us on the line, Brett Taylor, on Off and Pacing this morning. Brett, a very good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Tim. Thanks for the chat today, mate.
100 years of pacing in Kellerberrin. What a milestone it is.
It certainly is. It's come around quickly. It was only a few years ago we started discussing it, and all of a sudden it's here this weekend. So, it's certainly going to be a great celebration of harness racing, not just Kellerberrin, but within the area and within the state of WA itself, really. So a lot of history for sure. And
that's the big part. Harness racing in the Central Wheatbelt, there is a wonderful, wonderful history, isn't there?
There is, yeah. Like I said, obviously Kellerberrin was first formed back in 1924. That was the first race meeting ever. And since then things have evolved until the point where in 2000 Kellerberrin then amalgamated with Training, Meriden, Wildcatcham, and then a bit later Cundon to form Central Wheatbelt to keep harness racing in the Wheatbelt. So there's definitely a lot of history over time.
And just in your time there, obviously you have spent a long time there as president, now on the committee. How has it developed and changed over the journey?
Oh, look, obviously things are never the same, but the numbers probably aren't there that used to be here back in the day. Like Kellerberrin was a thriving horse population back in the 60s and 70s and even the 80s. And then not just Kellerberrin as well, but also the surrounding towns. But numbers have dwindled a little bit, but there's still a passion here. And obviously we're evolving and moving with the times and move to the Sunday time slot to enable us to keep racing. And we just move with the times, and things obviously within the industry as a whole aren't probably as great as they used to be. So we're just we're battling along and trying to do the best we can.
One thing that is for sure and certain is that this Sunday will be a great day. So just give us a little bit of an insight. How much preparation has gone into the 100-year celebration this Sunday?
Oh, look, there's been a fair bit. Like I said, it's been probably 1 or 2 years in the making, and the organising committee, Di Groves and Doreen Dowding have probably been the two that have been driving it, along with Jenna Saunders, our wonderful club secretary. And there's been a fair bit, and as you were seeing, I have sent through the day to you, and it's going to be a fair bit happening this Sunday, and not only on the track but off the track. So hopefully we can get a great crowd in attendance. We've already got some good numbers that have RSVP'd for the afternoon tea. So hopefully that, along with the normal patrons, should see a really good crowd on Sunday.
I'm just having a look at the rundown that you have sent. So just after 1:30, the racing will kick off on track and go right through until just prior to 5:30. And as you mentioned, an afternoon tea there, pony trots. There's a sporting club relay for sporting clubs in the area. Hopefully even a game of mixed netball. So quite literally something for everyone.
Yeah, and we pride ourselves on that at Central Air, but we like to give back to the community. We're not just wholly harness racing. Is there any sporting clubs that get involved this weekend? We're just going to donate some money to them. They don't have to win. They can run last. They still get the same amount of money. So we're just trying to make it a really big community day and try and get a really good crowd on track. And as you say, there's plenty off the course. We've got market stalls, we've got food vans, live music all day inside. We've got a slideshow throughout the afternoon, displaying lots of old photos and videos and display of old race carts and racing colours. So there's going to be plenty of history there for the people that want to come and have a look. And anyone that's interested, obviously the Waffle Grand Finals on Sunday as well, so we'll have that on the screen inside as well. So you can have the best of both worlds. You can watch a bit of footy and watch a bit of harness racing and also enjoy the afternoon. So plenty there for off course. So hopefully it'll be a good day.
It's a perfect setup. Brett Taylor is with us on Often Pacing this Monday morning. Brett, you sent through a couple of photos of the original program, the original race program from Wednesday, September 24, 1924. All 6 races are in there. You mentioned about some of the memorabilia there. When you go back and have a look at some of the old memorabilia, what's some of the really good stuff that you do come across in looking at things like that?
Yeah, well, like you said, Wednesday, September 24 was the first meeting. That track currently now is used for a jog track for the local trainers who use joggers behind their vehicles, and it actually circles our current airstrip in town. So that was the original trotting track. It was called Olympia Park. It was originally for gallops and then turned into a trots venue. And then obviously in 1947, the track was built where it currently stands now, the original track. And then it was upgraded in 1999-2000 to become an 800-metre track when Central Air Harness Racer was formed. So there's a bit of history there. And just looking through the book, some of the prize money, £5, £10, and some of the marks the horses are running off, 215 yards, 295 yards behind. So you don't get that nowadays. And obviously all standing starts right through till 1999 in Kellerberrin. So the race we're honouring the 100-year celebration this weekend is going to be a stand. So that's just creating a bit more history. The stands aren't as popular as what they used to be, but hopefully this weekend we can get a full field for that.
Let's hope that is the case. Now, for anyone that is thinking about making the trip to Kellerberrin for the day and being a part of the 100-year celebrations, as we touched on, something for everyone, there'll be plenty of information that is up online and get in touch with the team there.
Most definitely, yeah. Get contact with Jenna at our secretary. She'll be able to assist you with anything you need. Just touching one thing, Tim. So obviously we've looked at off course, but for any of the people who are bringing horses up or thinking about bringing horses to Kellerberrin on Sunday, every runner that's nominated or every runner that makes his way to Kellerberrin on Sunday will receive a $50 fuel voucher. So if you've got 5 horses running on Sunday, you'll end up with 5 $50 fuel vouchers. The winners of each race receive 2 bags of chaff, and the main race will also get a rug. So there's plenty there for participants who are thinking about bringing their horses up this weekend, and being a long weekend, so it makes it a little bit easier maybe for the guys on the Monday. So yeah, hopefully we can get some really good nominations for this meeting and really fill the card up. That'd be excellent.
That's terrific. A really good incentive by everyone involved there as we build up to 100 years of pacing. Kellerberrin this Sunday afternoon. It will be well worth making the trip. Brett, thank you so much for your time on Often Pacing this morning. We do appreciate it, and we look forward to catching up with you again very soon. On behalf of everyone here at Tab Radio, wishing yourself and the team there all the very best.
Thanks very much, Tim. Appreciate the call.
All the best, Brett. There is Brett Taylor with us on the line, rounding out Often Pacing for another week. Thank you very much for tuning in this morning. As mentioned, the early start with no greyhound gossip. So this will be up on the podcast a little later on this morning, tabradio.com.au, or you can go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, you can go and tune in there. Thank you for listening. Looking forward to a big week in harness racing. And as I mentioned a little earlier on, don't forget that the Racing WA Harness X page, there'll be full coverage down there today with Matt Young. It'll be well worth tuning into all of those pre-race interviews. Thanks for your company. We'll catch you next week.
Imagine what you could be buying instead.